Welcome to the Scratch Golfer's Mindset Podcast. My name is Paul Salter, and I'm a triple-digit golfer on a quest to become a scratch golfer. I'm also a high-performance mindset coach and credentialed hypnotherapist with 15 years of experience helping high performers from all walks of life get unstuck and unlock their full potential. Join me each week as I not only detail my journey, but make mastering the mental game of golf simple, tangible, and relatable so that you can overcome the mental hazards keeping you stuck in the proverbial bunker of poor performance. It's a beautiful afternoon for golf. I show up at a course I have yet to play, the absolutely incredible Tampa Palms Country and Golf Club. And it takes me a few minutes to figure out where to park. It takes me an additional few minutes to figure out where the clubhouse is, where I need to check in. I've been told there is a massive skins game going on at 12:30. I'm set to tee off at 12:30. I come to learn that it's a shotgun start, and one person passes me on to another until I get in touch with the guy who's running the skins. I Venmo him the amount of money to participate, all while still trying to figure out where my playing partner is, who happened to be a friend of a friend, somebody I met in passing at a baby shower, who happened to see my golf hypnotherapist decal on the back of my car, and we had a brief conversation, friendly, short. I come to learn that he is a +1 handicap, and he casually mentions that he has an opening in his future tee time, and lo and behold, we are here. And I'm playing with him, another buddy of his who is a +3 handicap, and then a work colleague of his who is, by the way, he struck the ball probably in the mid-teens. I don't actually know. 3 friendly, kind dudes, 3 really fucking good golfers. At this particular course, the driving range has been absolutely destroyed by the back-to-back hurricanes we faced in October. So there are nets set up. There is a massive putting green, unlike anything I've ever seen. And I'm beginning to realize as I'm slowly, but also hurriedly getting acclimated with my surroundings, that my little muni course I play, which I still love dearly, is leagues behind or below a country club course in terms of amenities, money poured into course maintenance, all things I know logically. Yet again, given the limited amount of experience I have playing a variety of golf courses, I mean, the greens significantly faster here compared to what I'm used to. A lot more undulation. And all of this said, I finally run into my playing partner. We meet up. We're ready to rock. We get the cart situated. We're starting on the 6th hole. And I watch the other guy, Aaron, tee off, and he just stripes the ball. Then my buddy tees off, stripes the ball. The other guy, I have never seen somebody hit the ball so fucking high. It was so cool. I mean, the guy must have been 6'4", 6'5", and the way he just hit down on and compressed the ball, incredible to watch. And then it's my turn. And mind you, this course, again, absolutely beautiful layout. It's tight. It's very heavily wooded. There's not many houses back there. There's tight. I knew ahead of time it was tight. I did some research online. I knew it was going to be a 5 or a 3 wood heavy day for me in particular. So I'm ready to go. I see 3 beautiful tee shots all hit the fairway. And as I go to step up and ready myself, I'm dialed in. I've taken my breaths. I've tried to really slow myself down because in reality, I'm nervous, I'm tense, I'm anxious. There's this false amount of pressure. I'm playing the skins game, never done that before. New course, barely know the guy I'm playing with, but feel like I want to be friendly and befriend him. And lo and behold, I go to hit my first shot. I execute my backswing and I top the ball. And it goes about 20 feet. And that's where we're going to pause. Before continuing, welcome back to another episode of the Scratch Golfer's Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Salter, the golf hypnotherapist. And wow, that's how I would describe the experience I had playing that round of 18 at Tampa Palms that I just gave you a good introduction to. And of course, I'm going to finish that story in just a moment, but I'll go ahead and lead with this. It was the most humbling round to date. I have never felt the collection of frustration, embarrassment, and just downright disappointment that I felt slogging through that round. And I'm going to give you a little more insight as to the why and what occurred, of course. I want to plant the seed, however, of what I hope that you will get out of this episode. It will be short, it will be sweet, it will be hard-hitting, and most importantly, it's going to be raw and vulnerable. It's actually pretty painful for me to share this because I was emotionally distraught, to say the least, after that round. So disappointed in myself and really, pretty harsh, not the most kind to myself. And thank goodness I have such, my girlfriend is just like made of love. The only energy or vibe she vibes at is love and kindness. And she helped remind me to be kind to myself. And I'm very grateful for that because it wasn't pretty on the drive home. So my intention here is to share with you what I learned from such an experience, how I chose to lean into the discomfort that was created, what I'm taking away from it, and how I'm using it as fuel to move forward. Because one thing I want you to remember, that the core derivative, the root of the word emotion, is energy in motion. So whether it's joy or anger, excitement or frustration, these are just different fuel sources, different energies operating at select different frequencies that I have the ability and opportunity to harness and redirect. And so oftentimes we get so frustrated that we're feeling frustrated, angry, sad, disappointed, that we just let that energy stew. It gets repressed and we go seek out quick hits of dopamine to numb, to dissociate. And you know what? To be frank, I was guilty of some of that on that following evening, mindlessly scrolling on Facebook before finally I caught myself, told myself to stop it. I went and cold plunged. And then I came and sat down and brain dumped, emotionally vomited my what went well, what went better, what did I learn, that after round report that I was struggling to do. I was numbing and avoiding with Facebook. But remember, energy, emotion is fuel. And we can learn to harness and redirect that fuel, even if it's a fuel source that is initially uncomfortable and so-called negative. When we slow down, lean into it, be mindful, present, intentional, and conscious, and do that heavy lifting or that deep work to redirect it and use it towards something productive and positive. And that in and of itself becomes a superpower, because the collection of negative emotions I shared are part of not only the normal human experience, they should be emotions you experience on a somewhat regular basis as you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, as you're working to ascend to the next best version of yourself and to becoming the next best version of the golfer that you aspire to be. So let me pick back up, there it is, where we left off in that story. I topped that opening tee shot. And again, I play, admittedly, a little bit of a casual game of golf with my playing partners. So typically I bring a mulligan, and I've gotten pretty good at eliminating those mulligans or breakfast balls. Every now and then, if I were on my home course, I would have just, fuck it, I'm hitting one more. And I looked at the guys and they're like, just hit another one. So I hit another one and solid contact, put it out there. It was a 5-wood, about 220 or so. To the left of the rough, just short of the bunker, is a slight dog leg right. Big sigh of relief. Okay, we're in business. We do remember how to swing a golf club. Next shot, I'm about 154 yards out, and there's a front bunker and a back left bunker. Boom, great approach shot. Knock that sucker on the green, 2-putt for par. Whew, okay, we do know how to play. We've settled. we're good to go. So, we just kind of chalked that up to a mulligan and we par the hole. So it was a bogey, but I'm feeling good. I can remind myself, you remove that shot, I'm right on schedule. Par for the course. So we go to the second hole, Shank the tee shot. Just hooked it completely left. So we're OB. Again, though, hit a good iron shot. Get up and down. I salvaged a bogey on that hole. So it was a double bogey because I had the OB. But again, like striking the ball well, feeling good. I bogeyed the next hole, which was 8 because we started on 6. And on 9, it all fell apart. I hit my tee shot incredibly, incredibly thin. Like, it wasn't a top, but it went, 80 to 100 yards, just a low line drive, slight left hook to it. Okay, so I'm like not on the fairway yet. I'm past the red tees, but I'm not on the fairway yet. So it's pretty thick. I use my 5-wood again, top the ball. Oh, fuck. Okay, regroup, Paul, regroup. I just told my playing partner, I'll walk to that ball, you go find yours, and it's fine. Except his ball is so much further away because he has striped it down the middle. He stays with me. Okay, take a deep breath. Still going to hit the same 5-wood. Boom. Popped it again. Fuck, what is happening? Okay, I am just lost. I'm out of touch with my rhythm, my feels, my swing. Okay, the ball's a little bit closer. So then I pull out an 8-iron, I believe. And my 8-iron wasn't going to get me to the green. It was just a club I felt confident hitting. I probably needed to hit my 6 to reach the green at that point, but I chose to hit my 8. Made good contact, pushed it right because I didn't finish my swing because I was so concerned about where it was going to go. I started coming up a little early, pushed it right. It went out of bounds. Lo and behold, I'll spare you. I carded a 10 on that hole. It was par 5. Ugly, horrendous. Okay, not much to do. The next hole, again, horrendous off the tee box, just pulling it left, still thin contact, and I am just starting to get into my head. I am so concerned with the ball's flight, trying to, subconsciously deep down, there's this need to keep up with everybody, this pressure to perform, to not slow them down. These thoughts starting to creep up to the surface. They're distracting me. I am not playing well. And I go on to have to pick up one hole on that front 9. I stopped keeping score, not out of desire, but to simply keep pace of play. And then it was just so far down the priority list, I stopped. But that front 9 was the worst front 9 I have played maybe since the first couple of rounds I started playing back in April and early May of this year. Struggling to make contact, rushing. And really for me, there was that awareness I needed to slow down. I needed to find my breath. And I'm engaging in some of my go-to breathwork strategies. I'm attempting to reverse the negative and unkind self-talk that's present. And it was just one of those days where it felt like nothing was working. And when we made the turn, so to speak, when we got that fresh set of 9 on what was our back 9, I told myself just to fuck it and just try to have fun, keep things light. I was intentionally forcing a smile on my face to lighten the mood, the energy. And you know what? The first 5 holes of the back 9, I played them at 4 under. 4 over, 4 under. Wow, that would have been wicked cool. 4 over. Things finally started to settle. I had a great drive with the cut I've been practicing and dialing in. A couple phenomenal approach shots, hitting some greens and regulations. A couple really good putts. The short game, the chipping, I should say, remained pretty strong and consistent throughout. I'm very happy with that. My putting was horrendous because half the time I was playing catch-up. Everybody else had already finished the hole. But for those 5 holes, I was 4 over. And there was a little sign of life and normalcy. After that, I hit another couple out of bounds. Put it this way. I showed up with 12 brand new balls. I walked away with 1 ball. Thankfully, barely, hanging on by a thread. It was just one of those days. I was embarrassed. Disgusted to a degree, disappointed, and embarrassed because I played so far beneath my potential. Embarrassed because I let the unfamiliarity of new surroundings distract me and ultimately pull me away from my warm-up routine. Both my technical one on the putting and chipping surface, using the nets instead of the range, as well as my mental prep. To be frank, I skipped all of that. I was overly concerned with getting there on time, finding the parking, getting acclimated, and just trying to kind of settle in, that I didn't actually take the time to intentionally settle in. And it showed. I was distracted. I was emotionally fragile. And I went on to have one of my worst performances to date on the course. And there was even an underlying part of me that was so distracted by just potential opportunity, if I'm candid. Here I am with a +1 and a +3 handicap, people I aspire to not only play with soon, and I will get there. I will become a scratch golfer. That belief has not wavered whatsoever. And I was starting to view it through the lens of coaching too, knowing, to be just very candid, how well connected these individuals are in the golf and the entrepreneurial world, wanting to leave, to be frank, that good impression we all are inherently biologically wired with, to belong, to be liked, respected, trusted, and start to build that relationship. And it just led to distracted, unfocused play, worried, anxious play, concern of expectations and impression of others. And it was a humbling experience. But I'll tell you what, so thankful for the cold plunge, which I just believe, to me, it was really just a switch that allows me to have to become immensely present. Because on the drive home, I was less than pleased, to say the least. I mentioned earlier, I allowed myself moments of getting lost mindlessly scrolling on Facebook. And it took me putting my big boy pants on, getting in the cold plunge to kind of regroup, recenter. I then took a walk and voice noted my after round report and started to settle in. And as I got a little space and distance from the round, some kind, loving reminders from Jessica, it dawned on me how I've continued to be intensely interested in becoming a scratch golfer, yet my actions have not quite aligned with being committed. And there are low-hanging fruit opportunities I'm still not consistently executing on. And for me, one of them is just still purely mobility and flexibility. I lack a lot of rotation ability. I also, if you ever were to have golfed with me prior to today, you would notice such an upright, rigid posture. And I know that is due to having been rear-ended 3 times and just my low back, subconscious, not feeling safe, always in that state of bracing. And I got that feedback from my playing partners. And put it this way, something I wanted to mention. I was so tense throughout that round, I left with blisters. You and I both know that is a tall tale sign that I was gripping the club too much. It was the tension that was really there throughout. So I have worked tirelessly the last 72 hours, just going through the motion and execution of taking a much more relaxed posture. Hands hanging loosely, left hand on the club, right hand loosey-goosey, off and on. Low back is straight, athletic, firm posture, of course, but not that upright, stiff as a board, which really inhibits my ability to rotate. That thoracic rotation ability is so limited. So I'm working on a relaxed posture. And for me, I mentioned in my last episode, I believe, the Forever Golf app, designed for fundamental rotation, mobility, and flexibility. That has become non-negotiable. At this particular moment, I am 3 for 3 in days of execution. I don't know what that will look like, how many times a week I want to commit to it, whether it's 3 or whether it's 5. But right now, I am just trying to build positive momentum there and really start knocking down dominoes of consistency. I do not hit down and through the ball well enough. I hit behind the ball too consistently. You might have seen on Instagram, I'm placing a towel a few inches behind my ball and really working on making sure the low point of my swing is in front of the ball. And I'm taking a hell of a lot more videos and sending to my coach regularly because enough is enough. I have promised myself I will never feel the collection of feelings I felt during that round ever again. I am upping the ante, pushing myself for better execution, practice, and intentionality in all that I do around the game of golf. I took the time to get the measuring tape, the Sharpie marker out to measure putts on my birdie ball putting mat that are 3 to 9 feet away. I have a straight line drawn. I have specific tees placed for different drills I'm going to be doing. I need to stop slacking on my putting practice. I need to stop hitting balls for the sake of hitting balls. I am taking my game to the next level. And I know as I'm dialing up this intention, this discipline, this commitment, my little guy is going to come within like 24 hours of this episode going live. And that's still not going to derail me. It will place pause on some of them, of course, because he will be the utmost priority along with Jessica. But the point is, I'm using this horrendous experience to bounce back stronger, taking an honest look in the mirror as to what went wrong, why it went wrong, and really just owning the fact that it was me. I am to blame. I am responsible. I take full ownership, and I have a lot of work to do on the little things to really get or set things in motion to make massive progress in 2025 on my journey to becoming, and I expect to become a scratch golfer. So there's a lot of opportunity ahead. There's a lot of opportunity to dial in my discipline, which is so timely because I just finished Ryan Holiday's book, Discipline is Destiny. If you have not read it, highly, highly, highly recommend it. And it's also re-ingrained the necessity of slowing down, of finding more ease in my life, removing the false sense of urgency. And a lot of this work can be done away from the course, which translates to the course, a true win-win. So it's time to dial in some of my discipline, be more intentional in my practice, my mobility and flexibility work on road to becoming the best possible golfer I can be. This hardship, this one-off experience has already proven to be a phenomenal teacher for me. And I encourage you, after a tough round, a tough day at the office, a tough conversation with your spouse or your kids, to also take that 30,000-foot view through a lens of objective, non-judgmental curiosity. What can you learn? How can that experience make you better? Because remember, it's not a failure. It's a learning lesson. It's not a failure. It's a learning lesson if you choose to view it that way. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Scratch Golfer's Mindset Podcast. I do want to share one quick update. This is going to be my last Tuesday episode indefinitely, as I'm just going to have to better manage my bandwidth the next couple of months as we are pouring into our little guy here. So same regular dose on Thursday, a mix between solo episodes and guests. I mean, we've got Jim Waldron coming up soon, Ryan Mokay, Henry Statina, Michael Leonard, and so many more wonderful guests already in the pipeline for the next couple of months. So be sure to tune in every Thursday for more deep, educational, and empowering content to help you overcome the mental and emotional hazards of your mind to play to your potential. Have a fantastic week. Hit them straight, and I'll catch you in the next episode.